I am so honored to be here today. Um, there's not that much more I can say, girl. After that meditation, honey, I think you covered every wall, every door, every alley that needed to be covered. It was so powerful. It was so beautiful. It was so insightful. So I'm just going to like just say just a few words just to to go along with all the beautiful insights that you gave today. Um, I love meditation because it gives you that moment to really examine yourself, to quieten yourself, and to really, really be able to go in to see who you really are. And so, thank you, Amina. That was so powerful. What a way to start the year off with that powerful, powerful meditation. Release and let's go. I love that because in order to go where it is that you're desiring to go, definitely that vision board is something that will help you stay focused on the focus. Because, in life, we have so many distractions, we have so many things that are constantly happening. And sometimes it's really difficult to stay focused on the direction that we want to go in. So, yes, that vision board makes such a difference in our life. So, thank you for that. Releasing and letting go. Let's go 2024. Let's go. Go, go, go. And the thing that excites me about going into 24 is that it's an opportunity, it's an opening, it's a newness if you see it that way. If you're able to release and let go of the things that hold you back. Something you said in your meditation that is so true is that you have to ask yourself the question. You have to live consciously. You have to ask yourself the question in order to have the answer that you need. And again, sometimes we live unconsciously, and so we don't even know what's holding us back. So there's a quote that I discovered that I thought was so powerful. And the quote says, life is not a problem to solve, but it's a reality to experience. Let me say that again. Life is not a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. And when we begin to look at that, that will allow us to make it easier to release and let things go. Easier to release and let things go when we realize that we spend so much of our energy trying to solve the problem instead of being able to say, this was an experience that I've had. Does this experience serve me? No, so let me let it go. Releasing those things that hold you back from living your best life. Sometimes it looks like not setting boundaries for ourselves, overthinking, mental exhaustion, living in circles, and clutter, not being able to choose ourselves, not being able to know when it's time to release and let go. Ask yourself the question, what's got a hold on me? What is holding me back? Listen, this week I went through this series where UCLA reached out to me because they wanted to interview me regarding my life. And ooh, what I got from that experience was sometimes we are holding things. Sometimes we don't even know the weight that we are carrying. We don't even know the weight because we are so within ourselves and we don't take the time to meditate, to focus until we're carrying the weight of things that we thought that we've released or we felt that we've let go. And so from that experience, it was like a 10-hour interview. It was 2 hours each time we interviewed, and I had to go back down memory lane. And what I discovered was I was still holding on to stuff that I thought I had let go. It's almost like you get on the scale and you're like, where's this extra weight coming from? And so sometimes we're carrying things and we don't even recognize that we are carrying this extra weight. I also discovered that I was carrying the weight of other people. Sometimes in our relationship, we carry the weight of our partners because we want them to be okay. We want them to be happy. That's not our weight to carry. Everybody is responsible for their own weight. I remember carrying the weight of my son for years and years and years because, I'm his mom and I just want the best for him. And I just, I can't even have my own joy, my own peace because of the choices that he's making. I'm carrying his weight. And we all have the right to have our own life and our own life experiences. And when I was able to begin to realize that, the prophet said that, I'm the bow, he's the arrow. He came through me, not from me. His life belongs to him. I was able to take the weight of carrying his life of what I felt he should be doing and set it aside. And when you don't carry the weight of other people's stuff, it makes your load lighter. It makes you live more consciously. It gives you more energy to create your reality. So sometimes we don't even realize the weight that we're carrying. Sometimes we realize that it's harder to hold on than to let go. Sometimes it's harder to hold on, but we are so conditioned because we know how to carry pain. We've learned how to live in victimhood. And so we know how to carry pain. We know how to carry despair. Back in the days, it used to be, the old folks would say, oh, my life has been going too good. My life has been, everything is working out and life is coming together. Oh, I know something is getting ready to happen. Or, oh my goodness, I know I'm getting ready to die. Because we are so conditioned that we don't know how to even appreciate, celebrate, or enjoy when our lives are coming together. And so what do? We hold on to those old thoughts. We hold on to that negative energy. And like Amina said, the things that you put your energy to, the things that you actually put your energy to, those thoughts or the things that you create. I say this over and over again. Wherever you are, you create your own reality. That's how powerful you are. She said that earlier. We are so powerful. And we don't acknowledge and or recognize the power that we have. And so we keep creating situations that we don't want to be in. Ooh, I am familiar with the pain, the disappointment. I know what it is to be negative because if I'm negative, I don't have to worry about rejection. I don't have to worry about my heart being broken because I'm going to hold on to that experience that I had. And that's what we do. One of the hardest lessons in life and letting go is whether it's guilt, love, loss, betrayal of or other people's shortcomings. Because somehow we don't really believe, not really, that we deserve to have life and have it more abundantly. We don't believe that. And so what we do is we live in the guilt. We continue to be angry. We continue to think about betrayal, how someone has betrayed us. But the greatest betrayal in the world is when you betray yourself. That's how powerful you are. Change is never easy. We fight to hold on. We fight to let go because we are so afraid of change. And we are afraid of evolution and change and evolving. And that's what life is constantly doing. So then that means you stay in the lane of fear because life goes on with you or without you. Life is constant change. And when you can't release and go with the flow of life and you going against, your life becomes a struggle. Your life becomes hard. You constantly hold on to something that no longer serves you. Whew. But when you know that it's not personal and you can begin to see your growth, and the only way you realize it's not personal and you see your growth is when you have the courage to accept full accountability of the choices that you make, and you grow and you see the light and then you shine. If someone told you and you really believed it, that if you let go of judgment, you could have peace of mind, would you? I mean, if you really knew that, like, listen, if you let go of judgment, that the reward is peace of mind, would you? Because we don't really believe that. We stay into trying to control, and control is fear. And when we can't release our control, then we constantly stay in survival mode, we stay in struggle mode, and we live in victimhood. And some of us, we've dressed our victimhood up. Not being able to release makes you helpless, which can lead to depression, and maybe even you become suicidal. When you don't have the power to let go, when you don't have the power to release, even though you know it's not serving you, even though you know it's not for your highest good, and you become helpless, it leads to depression and it can lead to suicide. I've always told you that it's an inside job. There's a story, I read about the doctor Bailey, at Lincoln University, that she committed suicide and she left a note and she was talking about how she was being bullied. If you cannot release and let things go and tap into your power from within, because you, and especially as Black women, we live in a world. We live in a world, no matter what. This woman did all the right things. She did everything that society said that she must do in order to feel validated. She got her education. She got the job. She got the promotion. She got all the wrappings, the external wrappings that should say, I've made it, I'm good, I have joy, I have peace, I've created a life. But this is an inside job. Doesn't matter when you're living in society that constantly tells you that you are not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough. And even in the community of color, the light versus the dark skin, everything is constantly, your environment is telling you, you have got to know from within your value and release and let it go. Whew. Releasing that voice in our heads from society, sometimes from our parents. Some of us were born into an environment that was not healthy. Maybe our parents and their shortcomings, they didn't know how to nurture us, how to support us. You know, when I was going down memory lane with this interview, I came with some stories of why I feel the way I feel, or why I look at life the way I look at it. And I had to release again and let it go. I had to realize that she's done her best. She did her best, because you can't expect people to give you what they don't have. It's up to you to be compassionate with you. Stop looking outside for validation. Stop looking outside for people to hold you, to understand you. That's an inside job. Like Amina said in meditation, you got to go into meditation. You got to remind yourself how powerful you are. That doctor could not see past where she was. She felt like that was it. And sometimes we find ourselves in situations that we can't release those voices that said that we were not going to be anything. We can't release those voices of oppression, and we can't move past where we are. And we become hopeless and helpless. And she felt that the only way out, after I've gotten my degree, after I went to the best of colleges, after I've promoted on my job, I still feel the pain, and I still feel helpless, that somehow his words were more powerful than what I feel within. You got to release and let that go. I don't care what society says. You have to reassure yourself that you deserve life. No one should be more important than your own voice, and your voice should be tapped into love. No one should be more compassionate with you than you are compassionate with yourself. Amina said, think about the things that you've accomplished. See, we don't give credit to the things, we don't celebrate those things. But now let it be a struggle, and we'll hold on. Dismiss that strong Black woman syndrome. Dismiss that I need to do everything, be everything to everybody. Dismiss, release that, and let it go. As women, we are so trained to do more, be more, carry more. Why you think we're tired? Why you think we're so mentally and physically and emotionally exhausted? Because we are carrying things that don't belong to us. Ooh, I just know how good I feel when I go through my closet and let go some old clothes. Like right now, I said to myself before I even got on this Zoom, I said, this is crazy. I don't even have this stuff in there. I don't even want anymore. And do you know how good you feel when you feel lighter and you feel clear? You feel like you can go in your closet, and if you want to wear those black shoes, you can go directly to them. Or if there's a dress that you feel good. It's the same thing with our lives. When we let go, they did their best. Accept the apology that wasn't given. Releasing, forgive them. And most of all, forgive yourself. You've done your best. And if you knew that, you say, I've done my best. Let me celebrate that. Let me celebrate those choices I've made. There's some choices in there that I don't want to experience anymore, but I'm experiencing life. Life shows up. But what's so powerful about that is that you get to show up to life. And even if you show up not the way you wanted to show up, not the way you thought you should have shown up, but you showed up. And if you take the judgment off, you can say, this is how I showed up. Maybe next time I'll show up a little bit different. Or you can say, oh my goodness, I've grown. Ooh, I have grown. Look, honey, there was a time I would have done it this way, but I've grown. And celebrate yourself. Ooh, listen, you got to know when to hold and know when to release and let go. You got to know it. You know, people, Rev, I'm in this relationship and, it's not working for me and I don't feel any joy and uh, we don't get along and this and that, but I love her. I don't know what to do. No, you know what to do. Do you have the courage to choose yourself? You've made your own case. You've talked about the parts that are not working. Do you have the courage to choose you and release and let go? Or because you have not set any boundaries for yourself, or because you've not really had a vision of yourself, or because you've not released those voices in your head, or because you don't know your value. Ooh. You got to know when to hold. And when you live consciously, when you are in tune to yourself, the universe talks all the time. The question becomes, am I listening? But we want what we want. And so sometimes we let our wants drown out the voice of the universe. Ooh. Some things we need to release. And sometimes we need to release every day. They said the difference between having a bad experience and being traumatized is that when you have a bad experience, you release that day. You don't hold on to it. And when you're traumatized, it's because you've held on to it and you refuse to let it go. So every day when you're living consciously, there might be a release party. You know how they have the release party? Like they created the album, all the music, the directors, the producers, or whoever, they've done whatever, and the album is finished, and now they're having a release party. And sometimes you have to have a release party every day in your life. Somebody you feel like has done you wrong, let's do a release party. Let's let that go. Let's let that go. Let's know that, we all have our own shortcomings. Let's not take that and festive and bury it inside of us and create a whole case behind it. Let's let it go. So sometimes we have to have a release party every day. Listen, some things that we need to release. Somebody else's opinion of who they think I am. I need to release that. Your opinion of me is not my reality. What's important is how I feel or what it is that I know about myself. Sometimes we have to have a release party and let go religion that doesn't support me, doesn't comfort me, but tells me that I am a wretch undone, I'm shortcoming with sin. That's man-made. And so we need to have a release party and let that go, because that's not serving us. And start trusting. We all have a built-in GPS. We all have our intuition. We all have what we need. Amina said everything we need in order for us to be who we are is within us. We're powerful. So let's have a release party and let that go. Don't be scared. Ooh. A release party sometimes for the jobs that we have, the relationships that we have, the car sometimes we got to let go, the house we got to let go. Anything that takes our peace of mind, we have to let it go. I've walked away from what they call good paying jobs. But was it good for my soul? Was it good for my mental health? Was it good for my emotions? I had to have a release party and let that go. And I remember my mother saying to me, I cannot believe you're leaving that good job. But Mom, I'm stressed out. I'm having sleepless nights. I'm depressed. Ignored all of that because it's a job with benefits. Ooh. Sometimes you have to have a release party to release the negative or the narrative that we all can't get along, because we can. So let's go. Let's go into 2024. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's move in. And the things that we have to release, let's put our pain into words. Like if something is troubling you and you keep going back to it, like Amina said, put it in words, write it down, look at it, study it, and then ball it up and throw it away. Because if you keep looking at it, I promise you, you'll be like, I'm tired of this same old pain. Let's go into 2024. Sometimes that means you got to make a commitment to yourself to let go. A commitment, a decision, a choice, however you want to do it. But you've got to be committed to yourself. I don't want to experience this anymore. This is not serving my highest good. And I am committed to myself that I'm not going to continue to send myself through these same changes over and over again. But it requires a commitment. Sometimes we got to accept things as they are. Wishing that these moments were different will prevent you from living a full life. Listen, it is what it is. It did what it did. People are who they are. And once you recognize that, you get to make a decision and say, does that work for me? Not romanticize it, not the potential. She's got potential. Well, if we stay together long enough, I know what he can do. No, people show you who they are. And you get the opportunity to say, Does that work for me? And if it doesn't, I need to release them and let them go because I'm holding up progress in my life. I'm holding up. Maybe the best person could come along. Maybe my mate is out there, but I'm holding up because I'm having difficulty accepting that it is what it is. Ooh. Releasing, letting go. Let's go. Stop blaming other people. Ooh. Stop blaming other people. The moment you blame, you become helpless. The moment you blame, you surrender your power. Doesn't mean that the person did not play a part. But what it does mean is that I get to look at the part that I've played. Have you heard that we teach people how to treat us by what we accept and what we don't accept? So when you blaming someone else, you can't look at the part that you're playing. You can't look at the part that you are allowing this to happen. So I'm not going to look at the part that they're playing because they've got to deal with that. But I got to know why. Why is it that I am allowing this to happen in my life? Am I still feeling insecure? Do I still feel like I'm not enough? Because I need to release those thoughts so that I can move on because I am very powerful. We create our reality. We attract who we are and not what we want. Because when who we are and what we want become the same, then we attract a whole different reality for ourselves. Have you seen people that say, girl, all my friends are crazy? Well, the common denominator is what? They're all your friends. So you get to look at yourself. So stop blaming other people. What he did, what she didn't do, but be accountable for how powerful you are. Listen, I know I'm powerful because I've created some hellified situations that I found myself in. I've created some situations that I didn't even believe I created. Like, I cannot believe that I put myself in this compromising position with all of the insight that I'm supposed to have. But that's how powerful you are. And so instead of making a judgment call on myself, I looked at the situation and said, if I'm that powerful, which I am, because this is what I created, I need to channel this energy another way and create something that I desire. That's how powerful you are. Let's go 2024. Forgiving. Forgive yourself. Forgive other people. Stop beating yourself up. Nobody has to tell you that you're this or you're that, because you do that yourself. You do that yourself. Stop for 2024. Make a commitment to stop beating yourself up. Oh my goodness. Have compassion with yourself. Be open with yourself. Trust yourself. And I tell you, you'll be surprised at the results. Like, I don't hold things against myself anymore. I've done my best. I used to hold things like, what kind of mother am I if my children blah, blah, blah this? What kind of person am I if blah, 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 blah this? Listen, I've done my best. If you really believe that you've done your best, you would not hold things against yourself. Listen, we did not come here with a manual. They like to say the Bible is our manual, but it's not. We came here to experiment and experience life. You didn't come here to have all the answers. You didn't come here to be perfect, perfection. You came here to experience authentically who you are. And if you knew that, you wouldn't beat yourself up for having some experiences in life. So release that. Let's go 2024 without beating ourselves up. Let's have some kindness. And so in my closing, find the support that you need. Look at your circle. If your circle is not a circle that there is trust, exchange, support, love, let it go. Because that's not the circle for you. Because in this thing called life, we have to focus on and realize that this is an exchange and that we all bring some good stuff to the table. But now, if you got some stuff at your table that no longer serves, or you don't want to serve, or it doesn't serve you, then you've got to create a new table. And if you can't release and you find yourself in the same situation, please don't let anything stop you from getting professional help. It's okay to pray about it. It's okay to meditate about it. It's okay to read about it, self-help books. Everything helps. Everything will assist you. But if that's not enough, then don't you allow shame. Don't you allow anything outside of you to stop you from getting the professional help. See, I can encourage you. I can motivate you. I can support you. I can be a coach to you. But if it's deeper than that, and you know it's deeper than that, when it has consumed you, when you feel like you're in the rabbit hole, you feel like you're so dark deep down in the hole that you don't know that you are the light, you get the help that you need. Because your life belongs to you. Again, my heart is broken behind that lady, the doctor, Dr. Bailey. I send love and light to her family and friends. She did what she probably felt was all that she could do. She went to the school, she got the education, she got the degree, she got the position. But I'm telling you, if you find yourself after all the external wrappings and there's still no content and there's still no peace, and you still don't know your value, and you still don't realize that you're powerful, get the professional help that you need. God bless you. Thank you. Ooh.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Freda. Thank you for your powerful, powerful message and your sharing and your encouragement and your good advice. You're just a bright light, and we're grateful that you're such a deep part of our community. We have a couple of minutes. If anyone wants to ask a question of Reverend Freda, raise your hand and we'll ask you to unmute. If anybody has a question, was that you, Annis? You want to raise it? No? Okay. Oh, Annalise. Go for it.
I don't have a question. I have a reflection, Alfreda, when you said I've been in some situations, and I'm sure they weren't pleasant, but I had to laugh because I had that thought. I was telling a couple people I've dated some doozies. I've dated some doozies. I'll just
Yeah.
leave it at that. Male, female, whatever. I've dated some doozies. And I think maybe um that's the first reflection. The second reflection is and I may have mentioned this on another Inspire thing, you know, the family narrative. I think that's also to what you're referring, or these generations, particularly of women. So that really resonated too. And I guess my question, for lack of a better word, or the pondering, is everything you said made sense. And there's also social agreement. And there are 8 billion people on the planet. And what to do in community agreement, state agreement, organizational agreement. You know, I'm also graduate of growth and development, as you know, and we share that. And I think that's the toughest part,
Mhm.
is to maintain that autonomy with social agreement on any subject. And I can do 5,000 vision boards. And yet, for example, Asila, I love that too. And when you're trying to collaborate or break that cycle, for lack of a better word, um, that can be quite difficult with that social agreement in any context or any communication. So I just wanted to reflect back on that bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the key is that you can't lose yourself within that. You know, you bring your best to the table. And, you know, I think sometimes we think that when we bring it to the table, and especially as activists, and especially as those of us who definitely want the world to be a better place, but we do our part, but we cannot, because if you don't know how to release, how to let go, you crash and you burn. And then you are no more, you're no more of service. And so, yes, there's a part that you play. You play your part, but you've got to know that there's a higher power, no matter what you call it, whether you call it God, the universe, Buddha, it doesn't matter. You do your part, and then you release and let go and allow the universe to do its part, because everything does not occur the way we see it or on our timeline. Like, we're living off of some goodness of people that did things many, many years ago. They probably did not live to see it. They didn't know the results of it, but they were brave enough to do their part. But also be brave enough to know when it's time to release and time to let go, and a time to allow the universe to do its thing.
That's beautiful, Reverend Freda. Thank you for that reminder. And thank you for your point, Annalise. You know, the reminder that we're all connected and that everything we do actually matters. And we don't know when or how or who. And so we just stand in ourselves and keep doing what we're doing so that, you know, when everything is lifted, when we lift ourselves, when we better ourselves, we lift the world. It definitely
Absolutely.
makes a difference. Magesha, you had your hand up, but you put it down. Did you still want to speak? If you do, you can unmute.
Yes, ma'am. My question, thank you, Reverend Alfreda. I love you so much, more than I could express on this Zoom at this moment. But as I reflect on your question and your sermon, and also our mantra for the day, I'm calling in joy, love, and unlimited happiness through expression, for me through dance and drumming and speaking. But when I have that moment of shame, do you have any advice to help, you know, like shake you out of it more spontaneously, or like instant? Or I know there's no instant gratification, but is there anything that you run to when you have that first moment of the aha, or the deep breath, or a tear?
You know, I am definitely a believer that whatever comes up, it comes up so that it can come out. It comes up so that you can address it. It comes up so that you can see it because clearly it has been buried deep down. And sometimes there's layers and layers and layers. And so it doesn't necessarily get to come out. And so whenever there's a break in your consciousness or whatever, where it has this opportunity to show up, what works for me is to allow it to show up, to allow myself to feel what I need to feel, not to be absorbed by it, not to be overwhelmed with it, but to feel it because you have to grieve. And a lot of times we don't want to grieve. We want to just, push past something. Like you said, we want instant, we want to, be able to release it now. No, some things you just got to sit with. When I was explaining about having the interview and they were going through parts of my life, there were areas that shame was a part of it, some choices that I had made or some experiences that I had felt. And it's so crazy how it was triggered by a movie. Like I had the interview and this was the next day and I was sitting there and I was looking at this movie and all of a sudden I got a trigger and I felt that shame and I felt that feeling, that emotions. And so for me, I know that this is time for me to grieve. I need to feel it. I need to look at it for what it is and not make it what it's not. Because sometimes the act is the memories that's more damaging than the actual situation. Because with the memories, we add, something could happen, but this is what we make it to be. Something happened. I was molested. Okay. But what did I make it be? I made it be that I'm no good or I'm less than or I'm shameful. Nobody's going to really want me, So it's our memories. But if I can look at it and look at it for what it was, this was something that happened to me, but it is not who I am. So, but I need to grieve that. Let me grieve this experience. And if that's not enough, then to me, that's where the professional help comes in that can help you walk through it, see it, feel it, and begin to release it and let it go.
Thank you, Reverend Freda. I think you make an excellent point there that when we put our judgment and our lens on the facts of what happened, that's where the suffering comes in. And we do that to ourselves, and we also have the power to let it go. Okay, we're going to do a laser with Annis as our last question. Take it away.
Okay, I just wanted to say this has been a wonderful topic to get us going for the new year. And all three of you just did a wonderful job of getting us in the right mindset for helping ourselves and helping ourselves, helping each other, helping the world. And I just love this sermon and this meditation and our guest speaker today. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful that that we're able to start the year this way, and we're all holding each other and we have each other. This community is for you. And all you have to do is tap into that. Remember that you are held. And we will ask you now if you would kindly support this community. If you love Inspire, if you want to help us continue on and expand, we're looking to expand even greater. Just a reminder that we do meet on Zoom and that anybody can join wherever they are. There's so many people in the world who need the support, that don't have a supportive LGBTQ affirming community where they live, in other countries, other states, and we're here for everyone. So please share, and if you can donate to Inspire, we appreciate any amount. You can go to inspirespiritualcommunity.org/donate. You can click through the email that you received with the link to today's service. But thank you for supporting our community, and we bless and appreciate each and every one of you, whatever you can give, whether it's your money, your time, your attention, your heart, and your support. Thank you. And I'm now going to ask Reverend Freda to give us our closing prayer.
I am so excited for 2024. You get excited about the newness of life when you've let go of the oldness. If you're not excited, if you don't realize that life is an adventure, if you're not open to new experiences, it's because you're holding on to old stuff. And you can't have old and new at the same time because you only have so much energy. And the older we get, the less energy we have. That's why, like old people be like, child, no, let that go. Like, I'm not giving that my energy. That's how I am now. Like, I can come up to a situation and I look at that situation and I say, do I have any? No, child, look, bye. No, I don't even have time for that foolishness, right? That's because you just don't have the energy to carry the old and the new. In my closing, there's one thing that's so important. It says, focus on the things that give you joy right now. Putting the past behind by focusing on the here and now will make space for new experiences. Even if you have to let go of a loved one who makes it harder for you to experience your happiness or what you feel, let go of the job that brings you suffering, and let go of bad experiences. So you have the power within you. You are not powerless. You are powerful. So if you're not inspired, if you don't be motivated about the possibilities of your life, the things that you can create, it's because you're holding on to too much of the old stuff. Let it go. Once you get from it the insight that you need, you can let it go. So in our closing, listen, focus on the things that bring you joy right now. Life is about the now. Now is all that you have. And in the now is joy, peace, and happiness. God bless you. I love you. Happy New Year, you guys. Happy 2024. Let's go. That's what it said. It said, let's go.